Take a note of it if this is the first time you're listening to this. Something that is even more important, because prompt engineering can get very complex very soon to get the best output. But before prompt engineering kicks in, you need to learn something called as context engineering, which will change the way you give outputs. And you know what? It's simpler than most people think. You see, prompt engineering is all about writing a better instruction so that AI can perform better. That is all prompt engineering is. And there are a lot of frameworks for that. If we just talk about prompt engineering, I could spend like 5 hours just talking about prompt engineering. But you know what? Context engineering is something different. And I want you guys to take a screenshot and put this as a wallpaper if you want to. But this is very important. Context engineering is all about giving AI everything a smart human would need to do the job. What do I mean by that? Let's say you want to do a task. You want AI to do a task. You have to think exactly like in a way that, hey, if I would have given it to a human to do the same bloody task, what is the information that would have given the information that I would given the human? What is the context that I would given to the human being to do the same job? It's that art of crafting that information. And this time, instead of giving to a human, you give to an AI, and that's called context engineering. Giving AI everything a smart human would need to do the same job. Does it make sense, guys? While prompt engineering is just instructions, context engineering is giving everything a smart human would need to do the job. There's a reason why I'm repeating this over and over again, because I want you guys to understand the difference. It is very, very important, right? Now, let's do this with an example so that you get a better perspective. Okay, so let's take up a very simple example. Writing an email to 10K subscribers of mine, inviting them to the generative AI workshop. Just right now, a bunch of you guys are outskill learners. You have joined in to see this Claude workshop as well again, right? Let's say I want to invite you guys basically to this generative AI workshop. What would I do? Simple. I would go to something like Claude, right? Write a prompt like this, write an email to 10K subscribers, inviting them for my generative AI workshop. And you know what? Claude is actually quite smart, right? Claude is actually quite smart. It will understand what it is. It will understand what the email is. And in the end, eventually will be able to give out a very cool option. Here it comes. But you see what this is doing. Claude is doing something interesting. It says a few quick details is what I need, and it's asking me questions automatically. This is what I like about Claude. Even if I give a simple prompt, it is very, very smart to understand that it needs more context. And every time you get a pop-up like this, don't just click on the skip button. Actually try to answer these questions because it needs the clarification. It's trying to take context as quickly as possible. What's the workshop format? Live, online. Is it free or paid? It's free. Do you have date and time? No date, keep it vague. So I gave it some more context with a very simple prompt that Claude asked me for. Because Claude was like, there's no way I can write an email with such a simple prompt. So it asked me for some context. I gave it some context. Now it's thinking and it's going to put all this information together to give me out an email. And here it comes. There's curiosity driven, there is FOMO and urgency driven. I really like the UI of Claude as well, how beautifully they do it. And says, you're invited, free AI workshop. And here comes the whole email, right? I'm hosting a free live generative AI workshop. I want you in the room. No recordings, no replay, just me. This is everything that we'll cover. This isn't a sales pitch. It's a proper hands-on session, blah, blah, blah. Everything around it is right here. It's actually already a pretty good email because Claude was smart enough to understand context engineering is important. As a result, it ended up asking you follow-up question, just like a human, to get more context to be able to write this email. And it ended up writing 2 different kinds of emails. Now, this is something everybody would do any which ways. How are you going to be different? Well, you're going to be different because all of you guys today are going to learn a very simple context engineering framework. There are 5 layers of context, guys. And when you write a prompt, if you want it to be context engineered, if you want the prompt to be context engineered, then you need to think about answering these 5 questions in the prompt. 1, identity context. Who is the AI acting as? Or how do you want the AI to act as? That is identity context. 2, world context. What does AI need to know about your situation, business, or audience? What are all the information that you can give AI about your audience? 3, the task context. What exactly that needs to happen? What do you want AI to do for you? Is the task context. Next is an example context. In example context, there are 2 examples that I recommend you to give. One, a good example, and also a bad example, so that AI knows, or Claude knows, what is a good example and what is a bad example. As a result, it can optimize its outputs. And finally, a constraint context. What are the boundaries? What it should not do ever. When you put together identity, world, task, example, and constraint, you're giving enough context to AI to be able to give a great output. And I want you to take a screenshot of this. This in itself could be super useful. You see, every time, a lot of times we try to use AI and we are always like, dude, this AI doesn't get me. This AI doesn't understand me only. The reason why it happens is because we often don't give it good enough context. The moment you give this level of context in terms of identity, world, task, example, and constraint, it does a much better job. Now, for the same prompt, right? For the same task that we gave, write an email to 10K email subscribers, the newer prompt, which is context engineered, would look something like this. I will be like, first, I will give the identity context. You're a casual, warm newsletter writer. Write like a smart friend, sharing an opportunity, not a marketer. Right? That is how I want my Claude to behave like. Then the world context. My 100K subscribers of Staying Ahead newsletter are Indian professionals who tried AI but don't use AI at work consistently. They fear falling behind. This is what my world context is. This is how my users are. So I'm explaining that in a very simple language. I have 100K subscribers. The name of my newsletter is Staying Ahead. These are all Indian professionals and they've tried AI, but they've not been consistent with it. That is the context that I gave. Then I gave the task context. Invite them, which is the task. Invite them to the free live generative AI workshop this Saturday, 11 a.m. IST. Hook. Save 2 hours daily using AI, not recorded. So urgency is real. Registration. And I could enter the link. I could just enter the link. Let's say outskill.com. Right? I just enter the link. And finally, the example context. In the example context, you can see there are 2 parts to it. One is a good one, and the other one is a bad one. The good example is, feels like a friend texting about something useful. I want it to feel like a friend is texting about something useful. Short paragraphs, 1 CTA, repeated twice, and that's pretty much it. The bad example is event poster energy. It should not feel like someone is reading an event poster. No bullet point agendas. No fancy words like unlock and freedom and transform and all those things. Keep it simple. If someone reads the email, it should feel like a friend has written them the email. So you can change it however you want. This is how I want my emails to be. So I'm giving it the context. And finally, constraint context. I say keep it under 200 words. Subject line should be under 10 words. No emojis, no bullet points, and keep it first person. So guys, there is no fixing of this. You can keep playing with it. In fact, I will share this prompt with you guys as well. You can keep updating it as well. But you get the idea. When you give this level of context, the kind of outputs that you get will be significantly better. Now, the moment I gave this context, you see it has started to do the work right now, right? And you will be able to see the email to be much, much better purely because of the amount of context we gave. And like I told you, we are going to be sharing all of this with you guys. And look at that. Free live workshop this Saturday, 2 hours back. I want you at this. That is how the email starts, like a friend. I want you at this. This Saturday, 11 a.m. I'm running a free live generative AI workshop. I'm going to show you how how to get 2 hours of your work back using AI tools you probably already have access to. No theory, no generic AI is a future talk, just a live session where I walk you through everything. Here's the thing, it's not recorded. I want people to actually show up, not people who register and forget. So Saturday works for you. This is the moment. Register here. See you there, WebHub. I wanted it to be simple. 200 works like a text. That is my context, right? As a result, it gave me the exact email in a way that I want to. That, my friends, is the power of context. You see, the kind of outputs you get fundamentally changes. Are you able to understand? Are you able to remember? Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart if you're able to remember or understand. Now, I'm going to show you a nice little hack right now. You know what I'm going to do? Let's say I want Claude to remember this. This is my style of writing emails. Every time I ask it to write an email, what do I do? I want you to focus on this. I want Claude to remember this is my style of writing. So I can say something like this to Claude. Hey, now that you understood how I write my emails based on the prompt that I gave, I want you to remember my email writing style and save that as my email writing skill. So the moment I tell my Claude, now that you understood how I write my emails, I want you to remember my email writing style and save that as my email writing skill. Now click on send. You know what that happens? Automatically, Claude will understand how I write my emails, break it down, and save it for future use. So that every time I say write an email on this topic using my email writing skill, it will remember how I write my emails because it will remember this prompt. It will remind itself of this prompt and it will write an email exactly in this own style. Look at this, creating Webhub's writing skill. It's building a skill so that it can save it. So right now I'm giving my Claude a superpower. I'm giving my Claude an ability to remember things so that next time I write an email, it automatically writes like this. If you think that is insane, drop in a heart. You can see Claude has pretty much saved that as a skill. Now all I have to do is click on save skill right here, and that's it. That is it, guys. It now remembers how I write forever. And you know what I have to do? This time, let's say I'm writing a new email. I don't have to break my head. I can just say, write a email so that I can get a leave for the next 1 week. I want to tell my team that I'll be on break for the next 1 week because I'm traveling to US to meet the AI founders. And write this email by using my writing skill. That's all I say. I say, write this email using my writing skill. I don't have to explain much. I just say, write this email using my writing skill. And you can see this reading email writing skill. What is that? Because we just saved the skill, Claude is remembering how I write my email. By reading the email writing skill, it's reminding itself how I write, right? And it will adapt. Look at this. It will adapt the voice principles for an internal team leave notice. And look at that. It just came up with the email in the style that I want. Heading to US next week to meet a bunch of AI founders. Will be on the road the entire week. I'll be off the grid for most of it. For anything urgent, please coordinate with each other. If it's genuinely can't wait, ping me on WhatsApp. I'll check in when I can. Back and fully on this date. Nothing that needs my immediate action before I leave. Make sure you send that over my side. Guys, if you think this is insane, drop a boom in the chat. First, I taught you how to write a prompt using context engineering. And once we understood how to write a prompt using context engineering, we converted that into a skill for Claude so that it can remember forever how I want my emails to be written. Right? Awesome. So moving on, this is the 5 layers of context, and that is how you go about context engineering. We just try that out. Now, there's another thing that I want to quickly show you guys. You see, now we tried Claude only. Let's say you want AI to work for you and you want multiple AI models to give you answers so that you can compare. Before this, I used to do this a lot. I would go to ChatGPT, I would go to Gemini, I would here to go to Claude, I would give the same prompt and wait for it to give me an answer. One very interesting tool is called as Get Multi. Okay, that is what Get Multi is. What it does is actually quite cool. What it basically does is I can click on this compare model option and you can see this top models picked for you. I can just select this. You can see GPT-5 Chat, Claude 4, 2.5 Pro, DeepSeek R1. In fact, I can add more models also if I want to in the whole list of 500 plus AI models, right? And I can simply send the same prompt, click on the send button. And you know what? What it basically does at this point of time right now is look at this. It is able to get answers from 4 different AI models parallelly for me so that I can read answers from OpenAI models, Anthropic's models, Google's model, and DeepSeek model, and pick up the one that I like. Guys, drop in a heart if you think this is super handy. Instead of me going to 4 different AI tools, or in fact more, I could just simply send one prompt and I'm able to get all my AIs parallelly to give me answers, and I can prefer and pick whatever I like. Guys, let me be very clear. Someone just asked me, will it work if I don't have a paid subscription? Good things in life cost you money. AI will be a force multiplier for a lot of people, right? Something like multi is an absolute force multiplier. But you know what? AI costs money to run. So these tools do cost you money. It depends on what you want to pick and what you want to use. For example, the Claude skill that we just showed you, while you can get a question and answer to come from AI, if you want the skills to work, you need a paid account of Claude. A lot of good things will need a paid account and they'll not work for free. You have to open your mindset. Of course, if you're a student or anyone else around it, I'm sure you'll find hacky ways to figure that out. But if you do a job that makes you money, if you have a problem spending 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 rupees on an AI tool that will allow to 10x yourself, my friends, you're not valuing your own time. That is what I would say. Because good things at life cost you money, so does AI. But you know what? I'm not going to stick to only free tools. I'm going to teach you the best tools because the best people use the best tools to get the best outcomes. That is the way, but that doesn't mean that if you're a student, you cannot use AI. Of course you can with a lot of free versions. You'll have the time to figure it out. I hope that's clear. Is that clear? The moment I constrain myself to only free tools, right, I will not be able to give you enough value. And you will not be able to see the real power of AI. Awesome. Now that you're off that, I want to get to the next step. The next step is something that is super exciting, if you ask me. The next step is about how do you explore an important mode that can really help you to make informed decisions using AI. Something that you could do which will 10x yourself, but something that will take you hours and hours of your time that could be done using AI really, really fast. And one of the skill sets that AI is incredible with is actually called as research internet your service or deep research. Deep research as a feature is quite powerful using AI. And you know what? Deep research is all out there. Of course, you can go to Claude, a tool like this, send a prompt like this. You're an expert management consultant who does extensive research on any topic using the best frameworks. Do research on EdTech LATAM countries and see how well Outskill can do if we launch AI courses in LATAM, Latin America, which is Brazil, Mexico, Peru, all those countries. Also do some research on changes we'll have to make in Outskill offerings to win the LATAM market. Make sure all of this is as detailed as possible. I could send a prompt like this. And if I want to understand, if I want to do market research about anything on the internet, I basically have to read up hundreds of articles on the internet, right? Instead, I can come to a Claude, which is very, very good with deep research, select research as an option, and click on just the send button. And you know what? Claude will literally read through hundreds of articles for you on your behalf. But before that, you can see Claude is very smart. If it needs more context, it will ask you for more context, right? It's asking me if I should use any tools, to which I will disable. And look at that. It has started to load its research capabilities. As a result, it will be able to read up literally hundreds of articles on the internet to be able to do this. But there is one more tool that is actually quite powerful as well, and that is called as Perplexity. On Perplexity, if you click on this add button, there is something called as deep research that you can select and send the same prompt and click on send. Both Claude and Perplexity are incredibly powerful when it comes to deep research. But I'm going to show you something that a lot of people won't be aware of. Have some patience if you already know what deep research is. Now, on Claude, when I gave it, actually, Okay. We have a split view turned on, and we'll have both of them here. You can see on one side, we are making Perplexity to do the research. It's doing research at this point of time, reading up a bunch of articles right here. And here, Claude on the left side, I've basically split my windows into two views, right? The left is Claude, the right side is Perplexity doing its job. Claude is asking some follow-up questions. It's like, for LATAM markets, what should I prioritize? I'll say all markets. What's the outskill likely go-to-market strategy? I'll say direct to consumer. What's the price context that I should benchmark against? All tiers. I gave some context now. Claude will get started to do the research right now. Look at that. It will get started to do the research at this point of time, covering all the aspects of it, and it will do it. While you can see on the other side, Perplexity is reading up literally hundreds of articles on the internet for us as we are doing research and gathering insights. So we have two incredibly powerful deep research tools that has the potential to literally read up hundreds of articles on the internet working for us, right? Literally working for us parallelly. Now, once you see this getting finished, this is how it looks like, right? A Perplexity will give you a report like this. It asks some questions. Worked for 14 minutes, 42 seconds when I ran it for the last time. 14 minutes, guys. Went through 611 different sources. It read 611 different websites and eventually gave me this document of full research about what it thinks about the opportunity. AI took 14 minutes to read 600 different sources to be able to give this information. And the same way, I gave the same job to Perplexity as well before we started the call, obviously. It went on for a lot of time and gave me this full report on Perplexity as well, which is super duper extensive. Well, you can do the measure to see what works really well for you, and you can pick up the one that you like. But here's the thing. I told you I'm going to show you an insight that is going to blow your mind. While this is awesome, this is great, what I wanted you guys to know is something very different. What I wanted you guys to know is, if you want to truly unleash the power of deep research, the way I would want to do it is I want multiple AIs to do deep research for me parallelly, compare with each other, and give me one final output. It's like making ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini to work independently and then share all the results with each other, discuss and debate, and finally give me one output. Wouldn't that be insane? Not just getting three AIs to work individually, but work like your team members, drop in a heart. All the three initially will do research all by itself. Once it finishes the research, it will talk to each other, debate like team members, and finally tell you what is the best output. That is the next leg of deep research. That is the next superpower of AI. And you know what? You could do that today. If you go to Perplexity, right? Again, guys, these are the paid features. These are the paid features, but this is what allows you to unlock like nothing else does. On Perplexity, if I click on this add button, there is something called as Model Council. If I select that, I have the ability to select multiple AI models. You can see I've selected GPT 5.4, Gemini 3.1 Pro, and Opus 4.6. And you know what? I can just send the same prompt and click on the send button. You know what it will do? It will make all the three AIs work parallelly. Look at this. There is GPT 5.4 thinking starting to work, Claude 4.6 thinking starting to work, and Gemini 3.1 Pro starting to work as well. It will do the work for the next 10 to 15 minutes. Once it finishes the work, this is how it will give up. The Outskill LATAM market entry strategy, the strategic analysis. Look at this. There's a pointer that where models agree. These are all the points where all the three AI models agree. You can see all the three boxes. It's like three team members and all of them agree with all these 3 points. Now, here is where models disagree. It's like team members, a few points they agree, few points they don't agree, right? That is what is happening here. There are few things. For example, first market to launch. Broad agreement, but 5.4 thinking gives more weight to Chile as premium enterprise validation market alongside Mexico and Colombia. This is where they disagree. Claude 4.6 for recommended fellowship pricing for LATAM. Claude 4.6 thinking provider specific pricing anchors. Gemini 3.5 Pro thinking references broader market norms. So all of these guys have different recommendations on a few points. And also look at this. Each of these models also made unique discoveries. So GPT 5.4 thinking came up with this unique discovery and why it matters. Claude came up with two different unique discoveries, and Gemini 3.1 Pro thinking came up with these two unique discoveries. And finally, a comprehensive analysis of the whole damn thing. Guys, if you think this is wild, drop a comment, MB, mind blown in the chat. We literally got three different AIs to work parallelly for us and then agree to a few points, disagree to a few points, and also find a bunch of unique discoveries individually. Are you able to understand this? Are you able to understand this? And out of all these things, as I'm teaching you, there is someone who is like, bro, this is recorded. And somebody also finds it boring. My friend, why are you on the call? Drop off, have fun. Here, I'm not to entertain. I'm here to teach. And people who value it are going to stick around. People who don't value it, who want to watch reels, you can jump off the call. That is where the entertainment is. Here is where you learn. All right. Awesome. With that being said, let us move on right now. That's the research intern, guys. It's crazy how things have leveled up. Instead of prompt engineering, we jumped on to learn context engineering. Instead of removing the prompt, we converted the prompt into a skill. Instead of doing deep research on multiple platforms, we got model council to work with each other, debate, and give us one final output. Look at the levels of throughput that you guys are having in one simple way. Now that is research intern at your service. But before we move on, I wanted to show you one more other kind of research, which I believe is super duper useful. And that is researching using social data. What do I mean by that? You see, when we use deep research, right, it usually researches based on information that is out there on the internet in form of blog articles. But if you want real-time information on anything, if you want opinions, if you want valuable stuff like that, then you have to do something else. You know what you have to do? You have to dig or research into social media data where opinions are shared real time. And one of the top platforms where opinions are shared real time, a very well kept secret of a lot of people, is X or Twitter. But you know what? When you use ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that, it cannot use Twitter. It cannot research into the data of Twitter because Twitter has not allowed any of those LLMs to use their data. But Elon Musk has its own social network, which is called own AI assistant, which is called as Grok. And whenever it comes to researching about information that I want basis of social media or real facts, I use Grok. And of course, I use the free version of it right now. And I can write a prompt something like this. You're an expert social media researcher who analyzes real-time public sentiment and conversations on X. Search X and tell me what people are currently saying about Claude versus ChatGPT versus Grok. Find the top creators, common complaints, pricing expectations, language people are posting in. Give me raw quotes, handles, and patterns, not just summary. You can write a prompt on any topic, ask it to look up tweet data, just the opinions of people, and Claude will get into work. Claude will work really hard. It's going to take about some time. And you know what? Claude will end up giving an answer like this. It thought for 1 minute, 37 seconds the last time I ran. And look at how different it is. It looked up all these tweets. Look at that. It looked up all these tweets that are even posted like a few hours ago. Right? And of course, it went back to older tweets as well. It did everything, looked up all the tweets out there, and gave us this information from just the tweets. It just gave all this research information from just the tweets. So it's very, very, very crucial and important information out there. right? Something that you can't find from Perplexity or any other tool. I thought I should tell you about this because this could be extremely handy. That is social research using AI, using Grok. This is where I use Grok. But let's say you are doing this research of LATAM market. You are the head of strategy of Outskill. You were doing this research, right? You put this together. You found where models agree using Model Council. You created this research using deep research. You did all the information. And then your boss called you, or let's say I called you. And I'm like, in the next 60 minutes, I have a meeting. Can you convert this into a presentation? What do we do? Well, we can use AI to convert this research also into a presentation. How do we do that? Well, pretty simple. I can write a simple prompt inside of Claude. I can say, you are an expert when it comes to crafting incredible presentations, which is extremely data rich. You have the skill to not only write the presentation, but also design the presentation. So use your PPT skill to be able to make this presentation. And I want you to create a presentation based on the research that I'm going to share with you below. I just want it to be like 5 slides where you capture everything in the best way possible for me. And again, right, if you want Claude to generate a presentation for you, remember to write this line. Use the presentation skill to make the presentation. This is an important line. When you say presentation skill, you remember how we save the skill, which is the email skill. Claude by default comes with the presentation skill for free. You don't have to create it. It has it already. So I just say use the presentation skill to make the research, make the presentation. Here is the research. And you know what? You remember how we did all this research? I'm going to just open this, copy the research, drop it right inside. And you remember Model Council where we got this as well. I'm going to copy this information as well. I'm just going to copy this information as well. Come to Claude and paste this as well. Both Perplexity information and Claude information has been pasted. And I simply click on the send button. And you know what? Claude, I'll just close these out so it doesn't eat into. Look at this. It's reading the PPTX memory, which is coming by default for free on every Claude account. It is reading the PPTX memory and it will get started. You can see now I have everything I need. Let me build a stunning 5-page deck. And you know what? It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to actually build this presentation. With that being said, I want to tell you one more thing. That is, you can build a very similar presentation inside of Google as well. A lot of people don't know this. If you go to Google Gemini, I can just send the same prompt, but here's the hack. You click on this tools icon and you select Canvas. You have to select Canvas to be able to build the presentation. And you know what? I'm just going to copy this information that we gave to Claude to build the presentation. Here it comes. And there was one more file, this one, which was the Model Council. And I just give all the information. You should turn on the thinking mode. And the best part about Gemini is that presentations work even if you have a free account. You don't really need a paid account for this. Even if you have a free account, it works. And you know what? Just in a while, Gemini will start writing code. Yes, it will start writing code to build the whole presentation for you. That is the wild part. In fact, Claude is also exactly doing the same here. It is also going to write a lot of code for you in the backend because it doesn't know how to go into presentation tool and make the presentation. It will code the whole presentation and give you a PPT file. Just to save time, I'm going to stop this. I've executed this some time back and you can look at this. I gave the same information, all of that. And you know what? It worked for like good 20 minutes and I had asked for a 12-slide presentation and here it comes. Claude literally built this 12-slide presentation after working for about 15 to 20 minutes. Exactly, I don't know. And here it is. And you know what? It's in the PPTX format. So I can upload this into Google Slides or a presentation software like Microsoft Presentations to be able to edit everything and start using it as well. Look at this. The whole presentation was done by Claude itself. This is the paid account of Claude. You need a paid account to be able to pull this off. But you know what? You don't have a paid account of Claude and you want something to work for free, then you can use Gemini, right? And look at this. Gemini just ended up building the presentation for us as well. This is slide number 1. Next slide. You can see slide number 2. Next slide. The whole presentation is right now built by Gemini here. This is done for free. So you can play with whatever you think makes sense. You want to go with Gemini, you want to work with Claude, whatever works for you, you play with it. But here's the thing, it can be an absolute force multiplier for you guys. No matter what you use Claude, you need a paid account. Gemini, you can do it with a free account. Folks, I've been yabbing for an hour right now. From a scale of 1 to 10, how is the session going on so far? From a scale of 1 to 10, how is the session going on so far? Awesome. For all the people who are enjoying, stick around, continue to learn. If you're not enjoying the session, I'm sorry. We'll try to do our best. But if you're not enjoying it so much, feel free to drop off and move on with your life as well. Right? With that being said, that is how you go about building the presentation. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is I literally spoke about Claude skills and how we use the presentation thing. Now, let's get deeper into the rest of the agenda. One of the most important thing that a lot of people actually play with or actually want to solve for that matter is something called as data. 80% of us deal with Excel sheets every single day, and all of us need a solution here. So I thought I will show you two things. One is that how can you work on a Google sheet or an Excel sheet directly using AI? And the other is going to be how can you import a Google sheet inside of Claude for it to do data analysis for you? Those are two things that I quickly wanted to show all of you people today. Okay, so let's get right into that right now. Someone has asked, how do we edit the PPT? Well, the way you edit the PPT is basically by, once you have the presentation, let's have the presentation, right? I can simply click on open in Drive, right? Or I can just download this and upload this into a presentation software. Then you will be able to edit it. Or I can simply click on this Drive account. And the moment I do that, right, it will open that on Google Slides for me. It'll take about 2 minutes. It will open that on Google Slides. And the same way, right, you can do the same thing on Gemini as well. It'll open that on Google Slides or presentation where you can continue to edit these as well. With that being said, let's jump into the other part, which is Excel. Now, on Excel, guys, how many of you guys have this problem with Excel? That you always end up forgetting the formulas. Drop a me in the chat, ME in the chat, if you're one of those people who always end up forgetting formulas and you're like, I wish someone could remind me. And you go back to YouTube, watch it and do all that stuff, right? So let me solve for that today. Okay, so the first tool that I want to talk about is something called as Numerous. It's called Numerous AI. You know what Numerous AI is? Of course, it's a paid tool. Nothing good in life comes for free, like I told. It's a paid tool that's actually quite powerful. It's a Chrome extension. It's an extension that you can install inside of your Excel to be able to get the most out of AI. I'm going to talk about a free way as well, so don't worry about it. So once you have Numerous AI installed and signed up, it has a free trial. Let's say you are on a Google sheet like this. And you're like, there is street address here, city, state, country, and postal code, all split in a separate way. You want to put all this data together right inside of this cell, and you don't remember the damn formula. So what do you do? Well, because I have Numerous installed, I go to extensions and I select Numerous show sidebar. Once you've installed it, it'll show up as Numerous here. And here is the Numerous sidebar. All I have to do is I have to click on generate formula and I just have to say, I want, in simple English, I want the info present in F2, G2, H2, I2, and J2, right? F2, G2, H2, I2, and J2 to be put together in one line with spaces between them. That's it. I just explain it what I want. Click on generate formula. And there you go, guys. There is some formula that is generated. All I have to do is click on copy and paste the formula here. That's it. And there you go. The formula was pasted. AI did its magic and we have everything put together. Now you can simply drag and drop and it works. You can do the same for VLOOKUP. You can do the same for HLOOKUP. You can do the same for macros. I'm not showing you a complex example because not everybody would be used to it. Now there's something else that this incredible tool can do. You know what that is? If I jump to this sheet, right? Something else that this can do beyond of writing formulas is it can repeat your boring jobs inside of your Excel sheet. That is, let's say in this example, I have product, I have category, I have a review, but I don't know if it's a positive review or a negative review. And let's say you have to figure out if each of this review, which are like literally 500 reviews, is it a positive or a negative review? How do I know? Well, I can come here, I can write is equal to NAI, which is numerous AI, and I can write a formula. Read the review. Again in same English, guys. Read the review and tell me if it's positive, negative, or neutral. That's it. That's the form. That's the prompt. I don't even explain. I don't even. I just write a prompt. Click on copy and select where the review is, the cell, and close it. That's it. My bad. That's it. And you know what? AI is going to read this review, understand what is inside of it, and it will be able to tell us if it's positive, negative, or neutral. Look at this. It says positive. Now I can simply drag and drop till the end. It's going to take about 2 minutes and can load and tell us if the review is positive, negative, or neutral. Look at that. Drop in a heart if you think that's insane. I can simply drag it till the bottom, but I don't want to waste my tokens. But you see, you look at the idea. You can do a lot of repetitive works inside of AI directly inside of your Excel sheet using numerous AI. Now, this is not it. I'll tell you one more problem statement that a lot of you people will have, and I know for a fact. And that is a lot of you people will have a big chunk of data like this, right? A lot of data like this, and you want to analyze, find insights of this data. How do you go about it? You're not a data analyst. You don't know how to write Python. You don't understand how to write code to be able to do data analysis, and you're not a data analyst. What do you do? Well, I can simply come to file. I can just say download. I will download the CSV, which is this sheet. Come to Claude, just upload the sheet, and I'm going to just ask it to do data analysis by writing a simple prompt like this. You're a strategy consultant, examine the uploaded data set and identify top 4 to 5 strategic questions that a C-suite executive must want them to be answered. Start by assessing the data and then identify one governing question. I'm asking it to do data analysis and find me insights out of this and I can ask 3 to 4 questions based on this huge chunk of data, which is 1.72 MB file that I have shared. When you run a prompt like this, Claude can literally write Python on your behalf, do data analysis on your behalf, in spite of you not knowing how to write a single line of code. And you know what? After some time, this is exactly the prompt that I sent, exact data that I uploaded. In some time, look at this. Now I have everything you need and it builds it beautifully like a dashboard. Look at this. There are 22,000 salary records. This data had salary records, you can see, of a lot of people. And it did the analysis. 22,000 salary records, 11 tech jobs, 100% are Bangalore. The salaries are 2,000 rupees to 9 crore. And it's crowdsourced from Glassdoor. Governing question, because I asked it the governing question. Are we paying competitive enough to win Bangalore tech talent? The tactical questions. Here's a question. Here is why it matters. What data shows? All the questions and what data shows based on the data that we uploaded is right here. That you can convert that into a presentation, show it to your boss, or anything that you want to do. So if you want to quickly do a data analysis on any data that you have a large chunk of data sheet, you want to get it uploaded and get the data analyzed, you can just do it inside of Claude. And what I really like about this is that without even me asking it to build it into a very, very, very good dashboard, it ended up building this beautiful looking dashboard right here. And here's a full strategic read as well. It analyzed all the data and gave me the top insights out of the data as well. That is the power of Claude for doing data analysis. When you dump a sheet of data, but you need work to be done on an Excel sheet, you need to use a tool like Numerous for that, right? And that is how you go about doing data analysis. The next up, the thing that I want to talk next is how can we upgrade your learning brain? How can we upgrade your brain with AI so that you can learn much better, much faster? And again, if you know the tool that I'm going to talk about, stick around because I'm going to show you a few things that I'm pretty sure most of you guys have never heard of. Because it's not about knowing tool. All of you guys knew the tool. That is Claude. But you didn't know, a lot of you guys didn't know what was possible with it. Today I showed you that. In the same way, if you want to stay ahead when it comes to learning, a lot of you guys must have heard of this tool called as Notebook LM. It's very, very powerful. But guess what? I know for a fact 99% of the people who have heard of Notebook LM don't actually know how to leverage the full power of Notebook LM. And that is what I want to show you in the next 5 minutes before we jump to the next one. All right. What is that? Well, inside of Notebook LM, you can learn anything you want. Let's say you want to know how AI works. I can simply click on create new notebook. And this is by Google and it is free. The way Notebook LM works is that it basically works based on the sources of data. It uses AI to read up information from a sources of data. So I can say, I want to learn about how does AI actually work? That's what I want to learn. And you know what? I can just select a deep research. So you know what it does the moment I click on the send button? This Notebook LM does a deep research on this topic, how does AI actually work, and goes and finds hundreds of resources and pulls all of them into your library. This is your notebook. It pulls all that information inside of this just like that. You see, it pulled all this information inside of this notebook on the topic how AI works, where it named itself Navigating AI Hallucinations and Hierarchy of Machine Learning. That is what it named it as. And here is a full explanation of that as well. And I can ask any question on the topic and it will be able to answer. But here is the crazy part about Notebook LM. There is something called as audio overview and video overview. And what is that a lot of people don't know is when I click on audio overview, I can literally choose a language, not just English, Hindi, Oriya, Telugu, a bunch of languages, and click on generate. And you know what? It will generate a podcast for me on this topic specialized for me. You see, I've already generated this in Hindi. For people who don't understand Hindi, don't worry about it. I'll just play it. It takes some time, so I've auto generated it before.
Vaibhav, I think you'll have to share your audio as well.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Give me a second. I thought people can hear. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Here's the one in Hindi playing for you.
पत्थर खाना चाहिए।
और सबसे दिलचस्प बात तो ये थी कि उस मशीन ने ये बात इतने आत्मविश्वास के साथ कही थी ना, जैसे कि दुनिया का कोई सबसे बड़ा डॉक्टर आपको नुस्खा लिख कर दे रहा हो।
यही बात तो सबसे ज्यादा हैरान करती है। मतलब हम लगातार सुनते आ रहे हैं।
So what did it do, guys? It literally created a podcast for us in a language that you're comfortable with on a topic that you want to learn. It's not that you're listening to a podcast between me and Raj Shaman, right? That is there anyways. That's not personalized to you. But here, I could literally click on audio overview and I can say, this is what I want to learn about this topic in a language that I want. It could be short, default, or long, and it will generate that podcast for you. Now, here is the crazy part, right? You just listen to the Hindi one. I'll play the English one as well.
When you see a stage magician, pull a rabbit out of an empty hat, part of you genuinely wants to believe it's actual magic.
So when you're listening to a podcast like this that is generated for you, one more crazy thing that a lot of people don't understand is this interactive option. When I tap on this, right, a new mode opens up of the same damn podcast. I can listen to it, but the crazy part is, when there's a podcast happening between Raj and me, you're watching it on YouTube. You have a doubt, you can't do anything about it. But on this podcast on Notebook LM, you can literally ask your doubt. I'll show you how.
When you see a stage magician, pull a rabbit out of an empty hat, part of you genuinely
can
wants
simply
to
click
believe
on
it's
this join
actual
button.
magic,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
Oh, hey there. What's up?
Hey, my name is Vaibhav, and I have a doubt. Is it really needed for me to learn all this about hallucination and hierarchy of machine learning and complex stuff like this? Because I'm not a software engineer. Do I need to learn this? Because I just want to become a good AI orchestrator or an AI generalist. Do I need to learn this stuff?
Oh, Bevo, that is a fantastic question
And honestly, a really important one to ask.
because you hit on something key. We're talking about complex math.
Right. And you're asking, do I need to be a developer?
The short answer is absolutely no.
You don't need to be a developer.
You definitely do not need a computer science degree to benefit from this knowledge.
Think of it this way, Vivo.
You want to be a great AI orchestrator or user or decision maker?
And understanding the mechanism behind.
Guys, did you just see what just happened? We just got AI to answer a doubt of a question that we had based on a podcast that was designed just for us. How insane is that? And I can't believe people don't use this left, right, and center every single day. But this is not it, right? If you like what you're seeing, drop in a heart. I mean, this is just Google power, right? This is sheer Google power, really, really powerful stuff for people who have no idea of, right? But this is not it. It also has something called as video overview. What is video overview? When I tap on video overview, I can say the kind of video that I want. And you know what it does? It literally generates a video for us on that topic. For example, I generated a couple of videos. Let me play one.
We have built machines capable of writing highly complex code in seconds. Yet these same systems will present dangerous absurdities as absolute truth. Take this response from Google's AI overview, which confidently instructed users to eat at least one
Guys, do you
basic
see what's
tasks.
happening? It's literally built a presentation, built a voiceover, and made a video for us. This is one kind of video. I've tried one more kind of video as well with a slightly different prompt where I said demystifying AI.
You hear about
And
artificial
It generated a very different style
intelligence
of video as well.
everywhere, right? It's on your phone, it powers your searches, it's literally changing the world as we speak. But how does it actually work, under the hood? And maybe more importantly, why does it sometimes just make stuff up? And
So you
inside
can
you
see
find
this. It has again made slides, again made a voiceover, generated a video lesson just for you on the topic of this which you want to learn. So basically, we almost have a learning tool which can make video lessons and audio lessons for us on demand on any topic that we want to learn. Now, you don't have a reason not to learn stuff up. I hope this is helpful for people who don't know of this. Please leverage the fullest, especially the interactive mode where you can listen to podcasts. And trust me, I do this. I'm in the gym. I want to learn on a new topic. I would do a deep research like a few hours, or before I sleep in the night. It will do a deep research. I will generate a podcast of it. When I'm in the gym, I'm listening to that podcast. And every time I have a doubt, I click on the interactive mode on my phone and ask a question. It clears my doubt and I move on working out. This has become my go-to learning tool. And I really hope all of you guys find value. And the best part, it is free. And this really helps to learn and absorb things really, really fast for you. But moving on to the next one. Guys, I hope you found this useful. I hope you found this useful. I hope you found something new that you learned today. If that's yes, drop in a heart. So that I know we are on the same page. I know I'm adding value. There are clearly a few trollers on the call, which is quite shameful, but they're still there. So I want to know that we are on the page, same page. Yes, awesome, brilliant. Now, moving on to the next bit. The next bit is basically landing pages and websites. I wanted to teach you guys how I vibe code stuff. And the way I vibe code stuff has fundamentally changed right now. You know, of course, there were tools like Bolt, Lovable, and everything that I used to use, but I've got more nuanced with this process right now. And the best part is the tool stack that I use today is very different. I use free tools to be able to do this. And you know what? When it comes to designing or building something without writing a single line of code, which you can do today, I don't do using one tool. I've split this job into two different tools. I use a tool for designing the website first, let's say a landing page website or an app. I design it on a different tool and then I code it using a different tool. When I say code it, I'm not writing code. I'm getting AI to write the code for it, but it's a different tool. And I'm going to show you that workflow today. So how do you go about building landing pages and websites? Now we are jumping off Claude because Claude is not great standalone just with this. So in these cases, what I end up using is for designing a website, I use something called a Stitch. Stitch is by Google. It is a free tool and it's actually quite powerful, right? I can give any prompt that I want and Stitch will absolutely nail it when it comes to website. For example, I can give a prompt like this. Build a website using Claude, or in this case, build a website not using Claude so much. You're an expert landing page designer who builds high converting landing pages for AI education. Build a single page website for Outskill LATAM launch, an AI bootcamp program in Spanish and Portuguese speaking people. And here's all the stuff. I said, use this font, dark background, light green accent, make it feel premium. That's what I say. And I click on the send button. And you know what? Stitch is basically a AI product designer, a AI UI UX designer. And the moment you give a prompt like this, Stitch designs the system for us. It literally designs. It doesn't code it, but it actually designs the system for us. Look at this. The moment I said it's Outskill, right? Stitch quickly visited the Outskill website and pulled up all the color schemes that we use today. It knew that this is the primary color, this is the secondary, this is the tertiary, this is the neutral, this is the headline, body, label, all how we like our buttons to look like, how our icons are. First, it built a board like this. And then once it understood our branding style, because it's a designer, it's like working with a designer, it will then start generating the UI of this. So it's not just building it automatically right away. It's first getting the brand colors all put together. It built like a mood board of color, font, and everything. So it has an understanding. It did this by looking up the Outskill website. And now it has started to generate the screen. If you give it like good 5-6 minutes, you can see it is loading right now. If you give it like good 5-10 minutes, it will be able to design. Oh, look at this. Not really 5 to 10 minutes. It was able to build it quite quickly, actually. Look at this. I'm able to see some part of it coming to life. It's all design, guys. It's not developed. It's all design. And you can see how I wanted it in Spanish and Portuguese. It understood that and it's building that in Spanish and Portuguese for us. Look at that. It's a mobile first site. Now I can also say, can you also make the desktop variant of this? And it will be able to start doing that as well, right? It will start making the desktop variant of this as well right away in some time, right? So you can see it is still generating. And once the whole screen is generated, right? Look at that. Look at this. It is now done. This is a mobile version of it. It understood my brand language. It understood the Outskill colors and it built the whole website for me, which is the landing page in a language that I want to. It's just a design right now. And you can see, I said, can you build the desktop version of it as well? It has started to generate the desktop version of the site as well. Give it some time. It will be done as well. Now that I've designed this, let's say I want to build this. It's just a design. The development of it is not done. It's not live. You can't use it. It's just a design at this point of time. Look at this. It has started to generate the desktop version of it as well, right? Now that I've designed it, let's say I want to build it into code. What do I do? Well, I simply select this. That's it. Click on this export button and select this option called as AI Studio. AI Studio is a product by Google, right? It's free. And when I select AI Studio and say build with AI Studio, it automatically opens a new window by opening Google AI Studio, writes this prompt all by itself, and basically uploads the images as well. And all I have to do is click on build. That's it. So what did we do? We designed the website using Stitch, which is a free tool for designing and so good with design. Of course, I can keep following up. I can keep saying, change this, change that, modify this, modify that. It can do all that good stuff. I expect you to play with it. Once that is done, I just said build it. By clicking on this export button and selecting AI Studio, it opened Google AI Studio and started to build the whole thing. It will take about 5 to 10 minutes. And once it is done, it will end up building. It's asking me for design styles as well. I can skip it. I don't have to do any of this. After it will take about 10 minutes, it will software engineer the whole damn thing as well. You can see this. I did this some time back on Stitch. I gave the same prompt and it did the same work for me. You can see it built this, designed this landing page for me. Once it designed, I clicked on export button to Google AI Studio. Like I said, you select this file. This is the one that you want to build. Click on export, select AI Studio and click on build with AI Studio, which I did. And look at this. This is now ready. Stitch basically wrote the code. Google AI Studio basically wrote the code for the whole damn thing and built this landing page for me. Look at this. It's all built with code right now. Now that it is built, I can simply click on the publish account and basically publish it, and anyone can use it. Of course, you have to set up the billing of Google AI, Google Cloud. Once you do that, you will be able to publish it and share it with anyone as well. So what did I show you today? Number one, you design the UI on Stitch because it's a personalized UI UX designer for you. Once you have designed the UI, you develop that product in Google AI Studio. And this is how a developed product looks like. And both of it is completely free. Guys, if you think this is a powerful way to build, drop a boom in the chat so that I know we are on the same page. Drop a boom in the chat. A lot of you people wanted free stuff. Here is some free stuff. Like I said, anywhere where I can show you free things, I try to show you free things. But if something with free is not good enough, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste your time by showing free stuff which is not good. I want to show stuff that is good. Doesn't matter if it's paid or free. That's my policy, right? And that is what we are doing right now. Okay. With that being said, you learn how to build landing pages and websites. You can build web apps. You can build mobile apps. You can do a lot of this stuff using the same tool as you explore that. But that is not it. The next thing that I wanted to talk about very quickly is, I know for a fact, a lot of you people want to level up in your life and career. How many of you guys want to learn? How many of you guys want to learn how to automate your jobs, applying for jobs? Drop a me in the chat if you want to automate this. Yes, a lot of you. Oh, my bad, guys. I just changed the messages to hosts and co-hosts by mistake. Looks like all the messages. That's probably why you're not able to see the messages of others. Someone is saying unclear screen, can't do much about it. I think, guys, is my screen clear? Clear in the chat if my screen is clear. Someone is saying my screen is not clear. Clear? Okay. Looks like 99.9% of people are saying clear, so I'm going to move on. Okay, awesome. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is how you can apply or how you can use AI to search for new jobs. How can AI actually become your leverage? All right? That is what we're going to do right now. For this, we're going to come back to Claude. Yes, we're going to come back to Claude and we're going to do something different right now. Okay. Let's say I'm looking for jobs as a, okay, you know what? Let's do something even special. I have my resume right here. I'm going to download my resume. I'm going to come here, upload my resume, and I'm going to be like, I've just shared my resume with you. I want you to get an understanding of full of my resume, understand my skill sets and everything around it. Basis of that, I want you to help me find about 10 jobs that I can apply for as an AI generalist, as an AI orchestrator, or an AI first problem solver. I'm looking for that future job, not in marketing, not in design, not in stuff like that, but an AI generalist kind of a role, an AI first problem solver kind of a role. Roles like this, I find them on the internet, but they're all written in a different way. So I want you to look at my resume, understand what the role is that I'm looking for, which is an AI first problem solver job, a job of an AI generalist, and find me jobs like that. In fact, I want the jobs to be of those which are paying me at least $80,000 a year. It should be a remote job, and the job could be from any company in the world, but I want to sit out of the country that I'm sitting at this point of time. I want it to be remote, and it should pay at least $80,000. So give me 10 such options that you think fits perfectly for me. Now, here is where the real magic comes in. How will it find jobs? Well, I'm going to click on this add button. I'm going to select connectors. And if I go to add connector, I can search for something called as Indeed. What is Indeed? Indeed is a job search platform. So I can connect Claude to Indeed using a connector. And I have to log in into my Indeed account once I do that. Once I've done it, what I can do is I can come to connectors and keep this Indeed option on. And I can say, look up for these jobs on Indeed using the connector, because I've connected my Indeed account to my Claude account using the connector by clicking on this add button, clicking on connectors, clicking on add connectors, and I've searched for Indeed and I added it already. So I've done that already. So now Claude has access to my Indeed account. I had to sign up for the first time. Now that it has access to Indeed account, look at this. Indeed is loaded. Let me run multiple searches in parallel. If I open this up, look at this. Claude is basically doing multiple searches on my behalf parallelly for me. How crazy is that? Drop in a heart if you think this is crazy, guys. It made multiple searches parallelly for me. Drop in a heart. And look at this. It has started to give me roles. Here are the 10 best fit AI first roles. It understood my resume, took my resume, understood what's inside of it. I gave it a job role where there is no title. It is looking based on my job description. And look at this. AI Workforce Strategy and Transformation Leader, GE Aerospace, 200K to 300K based on my resume. It says it's a good fit. AI Strategy Lead, AI Transformation Lead, AI Product Manager, Imagine Learning, Product Manager, AI Features Role Star. All of these roles are designed and put together, paying me a bucket ton of money. How crazy is this? And look at this honest take. My honest take, roles 1, 3, and 4, and 10 are strongest matches. Okay, now I can say, okay, based on roles 1, 3, 4, and 10, rewrite my resume so that it matches the job description and I get a shot at the interview. So personalize my resume for the above 4 job roles. I just say this, and you know what? It's gonna rewrite my whole resume based on the 4 JDs. Look at this. First, let me pull the full JD of the 4 roles so I can tailor it precisely. It's gonna tailor those things for me. It's reading up those exact job descriptions for me, all automated. I didn't look for it. I didn't search for it. I just said 10. You could have said 100. It could have pulled it for you. And then it will start designing the full, resume for me as a docs file. Or even if I can say, if I say give it to me as a PDF, it can give it to me as a PDF as well. Guys, if you think what you're seeing is insane, drop a boom in the chat. I'm showing you workflows right now. I'm showing you stuff that you can automate right now. I understand that not everybody will be able to comprehend what we just did. We just got our AI job search done using our resume. And now we are rewriting all of this at this point. We are literally rewriting our resumes on the go at this point of time. And we are doing this using connectors. So guys, as it's writing the job, resumes for me, you get the idea. Now you'll be like, how do I apply for it, Vaibhav? Well, you can ask Indeed to apply for you as well, and it will apply as well. So that is the whole point. I'm not going to apply for jobs, but you get the idea. I've connected Claude to a job searching platform. As a result, it's able to automate stuff for me using connectors. So guys, this is everything that we have covered already. I taught you context engineering. I taught you personal AI research intern, social research on autopilot, data analysis using AI 2 different ways, building presentations 2 different ways, Notebook LM where we got audio, video and everything done from hundreds of resources, build website using Snitch and Google AI Studio, and job hunting using Claude and connectors. Finally, there's one thing that I want to teach you. The tool behind the IT layoff wave, the tool that is promised or that has been told as the one that is going to automate jobs. So you need to learn this tool. Claude is way more powerful than you imagine. What we saw right now is basically Claude Chat. But there is one tool that dropped a few months back that basically broke the IT industry. When this tool dropped, $285 billion worth of value got eroded. Infosys crashed by 7%. TCS crashed by 7%. Coforge, LTI, Persistent, bunch of companies. Nifty IT index dropped by 5.9%. You know what that tool is? It's called as Claude Cowork. And I'm going to talk about that tool and give you a full tutorial of how that works very, very soon. But before that, I have a quick question for you. Based on everything that you have seen, do you agree how good you can become, how you can 10x yourself by orchestrating between different tools? If you believe that you have 10x'd yourself in the last 90 minutes, drop a comment 10x in the chat. By learning just Claude, by understanding the power of this, you're able to multiply your ability by connecting stuff, by automating stuff. And we have not even gone deep. This is something anybody can do. That is the power of orchestration. Now, we have barely scratched the surface. How many of you guys want to learn tools beyond of Claude? Use cases beyond of Claude, workflows beyond of Claude, and frameworks where you can literally automate anything and everything that you imagine. What you've learned, guys, is basically scratching the surface. Basically, you've probably learned 2% of AI. How many of you guys want to go deeper into this? Me in the chat. Drop a me in the chat if that is you. For all those people who want to go crazier, who want to go beyond 10x that you have, if you believe that you've learned so much in just 90 minutes, imagine what you could learn. Imagine where you could get to if you give us 1 weekend of your time. We can help you to go from 0 to 1 in your AI journey. All you have to do is dedicate your 1 weekend with us. 20 hours with us. We did 15, you spend 90 minutes, 1.5 hours. We have learned so much. Imagine if you spend 20 hours with us live. What could happen? Actually, 25 hours with us live, what could happen? So I'm going to take 5 minutes to tell you about a very interesting session. We're going to be doing one of the weekends, which is going to be 25 hours long, completely live, which is going to change the way you operate with AI. Once I talk about that session in like quick next 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to come back to Cowork.